Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from the Skill Builder channel, and we carried out a survey recently asking people what heating system they expected to be using in the year 2030. Sounds like a long way off, but it's not that far off. Given my age, the year 2030, the only heating I might need is coming from a crematorium. But if you're younger, then what are you looking at? Would you be looking at electricity to heat your home, or gas, or maybe an oil boiler, or maybe solid fuel? Are you going to be using solar panels? There's a lot to go at there, isn't there? And who knows what's round the corner. So the options we gave you were a heat pump, a hydrogen boiler, gas or oil, or electric. And we're going to reveal the results to this survey at the end of this video. So that aside, let's have a look at a few of the comments, because the comments are really great. So the most popular comment was that I'm sticking with what works. I know the gas boiler heats my house. Why would I change to anything else? So this comment from Mike Hewitt, it really sets the tone. It says that if it's got anything to do with the government, I'm going to stick with what I got, because the government couldn't organise a up in a brewery. I can't even say it in a brewery. So anything they get involved in isn't going to work. So do you sense a certain trust issue emerging here? So this one from Timothy Welsh, he said that I put my gas boiler in 1986. It's still working perfectly well, and it still heats my home perfectly on the lowest setting. So there you are, he's got a low temperature system running there, 39 years old and still going strong. So that would be one of the real simple boilers, no fan flue or anything, something with very little to go wrong. Basically, those old boilers were just kettles. So along this line of longevity, we've got this one from PK Property Solutions, who said, look, my boiler's 25 years old now, and yet if I get a new one, it's probably only going to last 10 or 15 years at the most. He said, how can that be possible that a 25-year-old boiler would outlast the new one? We're probably looking at built-in obsolescence here. They're making sure they've got a future. So you can see what's happening there. It's nothing to do with me. These are the genuine answers that we're getting, and it says, look, gas works. Why change to anything else? So this next section is really brilliant, because it seems we're going backwards in heating. I've got a wood burner, and a lot of people I know have got wood burners, and the government is now talking about banning them, certain wood burners in certain areas for sure. But he's saying, look, I'll just be lighting a bonfire in the middle of my room if my finances carry on the way they are. And Anthony Pert, he says all you need to keep warm at home is a good woman. Or a man, if you like. So how about Patrick? All Patrick is saying is that all you need is a woolly jumper and the skins of your enemies. Thanks, Patrick. A lot of you are going back to solid fuel, because obviously when the electricity runs out, if you're in the middle of a power cut, you can't use your heat pump, you can't use your gas boiler, all those rely on electricity. So having something that you can set fire to that just works on the age-old principle of putting a flame to something dry and burnable, it's got a lot going for it, really, hasn't it? So now we come to the most divided section of all, and you've guessed it, what is it? Heat pumps. This really splits the camp more or less in half, I'd say. So let's start with the positive ones. We've got Jay Peel here. He's had a heat pump in his house, ground source heat pump, for 10 years, and he said it's working brilliantly, cheap and easy to run. That one, I think, suggests that heat pumps do work. If you get the right size heat pump in the right property, nicely insulated, there's no reason why you shouldn't get good heating from a heat pump. And so Solace, he's running a hybrid system, as the name might suggest. He's going to be using solar panels and a heat pump, and he said he's going to be ditching his gas next year. Well, let's hope the sun keeps shining for you, Solace. So here we've got a little bit of input from the Nordics. Where will we be without the Nordics? Scar Steve, he says, where I am, it costs me £17 a month for my heating and hot water. Thanks to a district heating system, that heat is just plumb straight into my house. And he says that is efficient, it's cheap, and it works on biomass fuel, which is basically, what would you think that is? Wood pellets? Something like that? They're burning trees to keep warm. Who knew? I'll tell you what, do you sense a little bit of smugness from the Scandinavians? Everything over there seems to be so much better, doesn't it? And I've lived there, I know it is as well. They're not exaggerating. So here's one from Steve, and he says that he pulled out his 16-year-old combi boiler and he's now put in a heat pump, and he said it works brilliantly even when it's below freezing. He doesn't say how he gets his hot water, but I guess if he had a combi, he's now had to have a cylinder installed as well to give him the hot water, but he doesn't go into detail anyway. So look, we know heat pumps can work brilliantly, but notice I said can work brilliantly, not always do work brilliantly, because we've got the other side of the story here. James Mears says, look, my uncle got a heat pump, he regrets it. It's cold, it cost a fortune to run, and he's always complaining about it, and he wishes he could go back to his old gas boiler. So anybody that's ripping out their gas boiler and it's still working perfectly, maybe you could get in touch with James Mears, offer it to his uncle. So what do we put that down to? The classic problem of wrong heat pump, wrong building, wrong design. There's a lot to go wrong, isn't there? So we've got one here from Nick, and he's saying, look, heat pumps in the wrong building, if it's not insulated, if it's not a new build, if you haven't had a load of refurb work done, he said they're going to be cold and expensive to run. And that has been the experience of quite a lot of people that get in touch with us. And he also says that repairs are expensive. Well, they tell me they don't break down, so why would you need repairs? So there does seem to be a real split opinion on that, doesn't it? It seems to be that heat pumps can work if they're done properly, absolutely brilliant, and if they're not done properly, misery. So the next strand that we've divided out from all these comments is on the cost of living, because people are saying, look, it doesn't matter what you have, I'm not going to have a heat pump because I can't afford it. Simple as that. I can't afford anything. Woolly jumper time. DL, he says that in 2030, all I'll be using is a warm blanket. And Loose Cannon, along the same lines, he said, heating's far too expensive. I'll just have a woolly jumper, thank you very much. And Dave Clark, another man without heating, he's saying, look, it's all too expensive. Doesn't matter what it is, gas, heat pumps, anything you can name, even wood burners. I mean, what's it, 100 quid for a bulk bag of logs now? It's going crazy. So Jean Genie, she says, I'll be running around in despair. I'll be keeping warm like that if this government's got anything to do with it. So by 2030, Jean Genie, hopefully this lot will have gone and we'll have another equally bad lot in. So you get the picture here. A lot of people just can't afford to heat their homes. They just don't have enough money. It's fuel poverty time. And then, of course, we've got the I'm out of here crowd. We've got Grumble Wolf who says, I'm going to Cyprus, mate. I'm going to keep warm there. I won't need heating. Can get a bit nippy in Cyprus sometimes. Don't think you won't need any heating at all. So Paul Longley, I'm not really sure about this. He says he wants a static home. He said he wants everything self-contained in there, the heating, the hot water, everything. So he wants to be completely off-grid. So Gino, he makes a very good point here. He's saying that you really need two sources of heating because of power cuts. He said you won't get away with just having one thing. And I thought, hang on a minute, electricity, you need electricity to run a gas boiler or an oil boiler or anything like that. But he's saying no, batteries as well. He says it's very important to have some batteries so that when the power goes down, you can carry on heating your home with the gas boiler or the oil boiler or even the heat pump. Although I'm not sure how long those batteries would last. You have to have a pretty big battery to do that. So there we are, that's the doom merchants. They're saying that Armageddon is around the corner and there's definitely a survivalist thing going on here. They're putting in supplies, they're stocking up on tins and they're making sure that they've got several sources of heating. Very sensible. So as always, I hesitate to get into politics because I know how much it upsets you, but we can't avoid it, can we? That people are saying net zero is just a disaster. It's just going to make us bankrupt. There'd be net zero, but there'd be net zero humans as well. We're killing the humans to save the planet. So people are worried about all sorts of things. They're worried about farmland being overtaken by solar panels. They're worried about the waste coming off wind turbines. I guess that's when they scrap them and take them to landfill. And they're also worried about data centers using too much power. And I reckon that they're missing a trick with these data centers because they could be recycling that heat. There's an awful lot of heat that comes off these servers. It could be going to people that need it. Very often you find it's just being thrown out into the open air. So here's the results of that survey, and the least popular is hydrogen. What a shame. Only 5% of you think that hydrogen is going to be a future form of heating in 2030. So next, coming in at 8% was electric. What does that cover? Well, electric covers things like infrared heaters, it covers electric underfloor heating, and it covers convector heaters, that kind of thing. But it doesn't cover heat pumps. We've got a separate category for heat pumps, and heat pumps came in at 20%. So that would more or less fall into line with what the government are telling us on the uptake for heat pumps. And if it doesn't improve dramatically by 2030, that's going to be a lot of trouble for somebody. Ed Miliband probably Now, this is perfectly genuine. This isn't us doing this, but it might surprise you, this answer, that 67% of you think that in the year 2030, you'll still be running your gas or your oil boiler. Now, you might not like that, but that's what our survey says. So, anybody from the government listening to this? Probably not, but it does seem that people are very skeptical about all this stuff and they want new technology that works. Nobody's against new technology, but they don't want to be guinea pigs. They don't want to be in the forefront of it, the people that are being experimented upon, because maybe 20, 30 years down the line, they get it right. So what have we learned from that? We've learned that most people expect to be on gas. We've learned that heat pumps can work if you get the right heat pump in the right home. We've learned that a lot of people can't afford to heat their homes. And we've also learned that there's a massive amount of distrust in the government. Nothing new there. So as always, we want to continue to explore these things. We want to get gas installers in, we want to get heat pump installers in, and have a bit of a ding dong. Let them argue it out among themselves. So if you'd like to participate in that, let us know, because we will be covering that, and we'll also be covering hydrogen. I know we talk about hydrogen and people go, oh, hydrogen, but there is a future for hydrogen. It does belong somewhere, and if we could get it right, it is an absolute no-brainer. I mean, what's not to like about hydrogen? We know there are practical problems with it, but somewhere down the line, it's gotta work. I'm Roger Bisbee. Come back and see us soon. We'll be having more surveys, more polls, more interesting comments. And don't forget, you can always leave your comments on any of our videos.